Hello, my little dragonettes. I'm back for yet another ramble. I unfortunately do not have a copy of this book. It was a library book, and I had a physical copy of the library book, except I returned it and forgot that I wanted to record a ramble. But I have my notes. This one is called Ocean's Godori by Elaine Yu Cho. I picked it up for no reason other than I really like the cover. I don't know how to edit videos, but I do know how to edit photos. So the cover photo for this video will have the book. So if I figure out how to put the book's cover, I might put it up somewhere. If not, well, you get the lovely white background with all my little doodads. So, Ocean's Godori, and it is a science fiction book. And it was written by, I want to say she's Korean American. Definitely Korean descent of some sort, mostly because the main character is Korean. And I hope I'm not, making any assumptions here, but no, wait, I am making assumptions, but I hope they're not, either way, if a Chinese person was to write a Chinese, a fan, bleh. Hi, this is me rambling. This is why I call them end of books rambles. Because even though I have notes, my brain, my mouth goes faster than my brain. Either way, I was going to say, if a Chinese person was to write a science fiction book, I'm pretty sure that they would write a Chinese main character instead of like a Korean main character. So this is why I am assuming that Elaine Yu Choi, it is Elaine, the letter U, and then Choi. She did not have did not put a full middle name, but I'm hoping she is of Korean descent of some sort. But I want to say this is, with a lot of the science fiction books that I started off with, they were mostly white American men. So I'm used to white American men science fiction stories. And please excuse the camera shaking because as I nod my head, I'm shaking my desk. I have a very precarious setup, but it works for me, and so you get some random camera wiggles. Sorry, not sorry. Either way, I'm enjoying the fact that some of my more recent science fiction books are less white. They are, with the exception of maybe Kaiju Preservation Society, most of the more modern science fiction books that I've read had Asian, African American, basically non-white American or non-white British lead characters, and a lot of female lead characters as well, which is a very nice touch. Especially because my next book that I will most likely be reading for streaming will be... No, it's a very close... right now vote between book 1 of the Foundation trilogy, which is written by a white guy, and most of the main characters are white guys, or Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. I will have a vote up in my community tab, so if you want to vote in for what I will read next on Twitch and then ramble about as soon as I'm done, go to the community tab and vote. Either way, Ocean's Godori, the the female main lead, Ocean, is Korean, and the male main lead is, I think, Indian, as in from India, not Native American Indian, if you still use that term. And I think the other one, so the other one really doesn't have one particular ethnicity that he's bound to because of the way that this world is set up. They have this group of people who are basically in charge of the death ceremonies of everybody because they are do I have it written down who they are? The funeral, yeah, so they're the group of people, a very insular group of people who preside over the funerary rites. And it's they have a name, but the other thing is they're called vultures, is usually because they have the tattoos of vulture wings up and down their back and arms, which I actually kind of like that mentality. They follow mostly the old belief of sky burials, where you leave the body out for birds. They don't really do cremation. I mean, unless the family asks for cremations or they ask to be physically buried into the ground, that's, they will respect the wishes of the family. But if it was left up to them, they would do the sky burial, which is leaving the body up for birds and other carrion. Those are the three main characters. They also have about three secondary characters to start off, and then like maybe four. They join with four others later, and they are also two. Take that back. Two are very much up in the air whether they are white or not, because we do not get a lot of information on them. I want to say one of them is white, and it's hard to tell because I don't really remember her too well, other than she absolutely loves Beethoven. Another interesting thing about this book is it's a future, obviously it's a science fiction future, but it's a future in which Korea is reunited as one country. So it's not just North Korea and South Korea, it's just Korea. And somehow, after that, surviving the reunification, they managed to become the leading country in space travel. Not America, not Russia, not China, Korea. And honestly, I like that. It's something different. It's, again, this is why I like science fiction. It's not just white. It can be whatever. Because it's the future and we don't know how it's going to end up. And I like the idea of having space being open to everyone. Yes, okay, Korea is the leading country. They've kind of got the monopoly on it in this universe. But it's like one of the wealthiest families is from India. And they have colonies on Venus, Jupiter, Mercury. So they're not also stuck on Earth. So that's just me giving it praise. I do have a complaint, and it's the ending. The ending is a non-ending. It just stops. That's it. Something happens, big thing happens, and then just done. That's it. There's no falling action. There's no epilogue. Heck, there's no even. I would have accepted an epilogue. There's no epilogue. There's nothing. It's just action, then, the end. If she's setting up for a book 2, then okay. I'm still not happy with it, but I will forgive her. But I don't know if there's going to be a book 2. I really hope there is, though. Because I did like, outside of the abrupt ending, the abrupt non-ending, actually, I actually enjoyed this book. Again, it's not something that I would buy for my personal collection. But I will keep it on, I will keep an eye out on this author to see if a book 2 happens, or heck, even another book, something completely out of this universe, because I do like her writing style. It's fast-paced, it's a fast read, but she's very descriptive. And there's these scenes that are just painted so beautifully that I did not want it to end. Heck, even that final scene, that climax was written so well, to the point that that's why with the abrupt ending, you're just like, what? There was some very close romance scenes. I also liked how it wasn't just, the male lead gets with the female lead because the male lead is gay. And you actually, the Indian male lead, the vulture, the secondary male lead, is interested in the female lead, but he is promised to another woman. Whether he calls that marriage off, and it is still up in the air, because they did have that conversation. He did talk to his betrothed, and it's still left up in the air whether she will accept the wedding not happening, the marriage not happening. And it's not portrayed as this being a bad thing. He was the one who kind of wanted to marry her in the first place. They are childhood friends. So it's implied that if he had not met the female MC, or if he had not met Ocean, then he probably would have married her and still be happy. But now he is out of his insular community. He is learning about the outside world. He's learning more about himself. So that's, again, this is why I want a second book. I do want to learn more about these characters. I want to see things happen. Again, also because something happened. Like, the main plot of this story is trying to do I have it on hand, or did I put it away where I can't reach it? Okay, so I didn't say this when I was talking about the fallbacks in my last video, but they have to run away from the Lich, the big bad evil guy, and from the City Watch, because they are being wanted for murder. And it's handled well. In this book, funny enough, I read this book before I read the fallbacks, but in this book, it's the same thing. One of the main characters has been set up as the killer of his own family, and now he's wanted for murder, but we don't see him, we find out who did the killing, we kill the person who did the killing, or at least the man who was in charge of the idea. I don't think they've actually killed the person who's, yeah. Either way, it's complicated. I don't want to do spoilers, but it's just there's no epilogue. I don't know what happens. Second book, please, if there is one. I do want this to continue. Also, if you hear a little tapping, that's my nails on my I'm tapping my nails on this. But yeah, it's a strong start with a bad non-end to a book. I love the universe that's being set up. I love the characters. I want to see them grow. I just But yeah. Let's see, is there anything else about okay, yeah, the ending is just like the whole third act of the book is just got cut, left on the floor, or didn't even get printed. We do another thing that I noticed that I really, now that I'm reading my notes, I didn't realize that I had issues with was we get really detailed descriptions for both looks and personalities for some like third, really minor side characters. But they get the shaft. Like they only get like mentioned beautiful details, do one thing, and then just leave the book completely. I think this was, if I reading from my notes, it sounds like this is Cho's first book, period. Like this is her publishing debut, and I do hope she continues writing. I do hope she continues this story because I am invested already. Yes, I have complaints, but I'm also interested. So, I want this to grow. I want this to be maybe not the next Foundation, but give me a good space opera, because I can see this becoming a decent space opera. And if I have to sit through a bad ending on book 1, but the other books make up for it, then I'll forgive book 1. But for right now, it's sitting at a 5 out of 10. There's so much that could be there. There's just so much more I can see for this book and this series. That ending. Alright. But yeah, that's it for my ramble for Ocean's Godori by Elaine Yu. Again, just the letter U. Choi. If anything, I would recommend it probably, I would recommend a library copy. Audio, ebook, or physical book. Maybe after reading it, you see if you want to buy your own copy or not. But this is, or buy an ebook, because if she gets the sales, it will let her write the next book. I personally will not buy a copy. If book 2 is better than book 1, then I'll buy book 1 again. But I can't. Not right now. I do want more. So, yep, that's my rambles. That's my thoughts. Thank you for coming and listening. And like, comment, subscribe, share if you know somebody who would be interested in listening to me ramble, or if this is a book that they're interested in. I try to keep it as vague as possible because I want you to read it. I want, that you guys all to make your own decisions if you like the book or not, because my opinions are my opinions. You might like the book more than I do, or you might think it's better than I do, or you might absolutely hate it. That's the joy of books. So yeah, thank you. I'll see you later in another video. Bye.